Looking Glass Technologies is a company you'll be hearing a lot about this year. Their recent game System Shock, which they developed for Origin, has won universal critical acclaim, and their next game, Flight Unlimited, is one of the most anticipated flight games since Microsoft Flight Sim 5. As the work on Flight wraps up, they're turning their attention toward their next offering, Terra. Terra is a game of first-person tactical combat. It's set in a science fiction universe and focuses on the liberation of off-world colonies from their tyrannical government.
It's a science fiction game in which you and your squad mates are in powered battle armor with various weapons mounted on you and go out on planets and fight the bad guys. The plot actually takes place on a different star system, on the Centauri star system, and you've colonized this system a while back as sort of a separate entity, and now the evil Earth government is coming and trying to annex you again, so it's a fight for your freedom.
In Terra, you play the role of squad leader. To help you complete the missions, you'll have 3 squad mates at your disposal, each with their own individual skills.
One of the important things in the game is that you're commanding a squad of teammates and not just going out there by yourself. There are 4 of you. So we've put a whole lot of work into the AIs for the teammates so that you're really commanding them. You're not just going off and killing everything yourself. You have to think about the high-level strategy for the entire mission. Now all of a sudden, these 2 guys over here and this demolitions expert will go here to blow up the building and stuff like that. So that makes the game a lot more interesting too.
You'll control your squad in real time from a first-person viewpoint. The screen is divided into displays to let you keep track of your squad and give you a good view of the terrain. For these missions, your squad will be outfitted with suits of highly mobile, powered battle armor.
From the beginning, we thought it would be neat to do a science fiction type game, and having these powered battle armor, or PBAs, gives us a lot more flexibility and fun than just like going around in tanks or whatever. It's really neat to go around and watch people actually walking around and dealing with them as humans rather than as, these impersonal beings in tanks or whatever.
The missions in Terra will be connected by rendered cutscenes. These scenes advance the plot and let you get to know your squad members. Unlike games like Origin's Wing Commander series that use similar methods, Terra will feature sequential missions instead of a branching storyline. The reason for this is that Looking Glass wants the player to see everything in the game, which is much harder to do with branching plots. One of the most striking elements of Terra is the landscapes you'll play through. The smooth scrolling evokes memories of Comanche Maximum Overkill, and the ground detail smacks of Magic Carpet.
What we're able to do is give texture map realism and detail up close to the player while still able to render a very large area. For example, we're rendering all the way out in the distance to show mountains, but you can really walk right up to those mountains and it'll be rendered in the same detail as the stuff right next to you when you get there. It's not like a backdrop or anything. It looks really good.
To create the movement of your squad members, Looking Glass will turn to their resident physicist, Seamus Blackley. While many games use rotoscoping or digital motion capture, the animation in Terra will all be done on the fly using realistic physics models.
It's all algorithmic, and what happens is, at runtime, if someone wants to move forward, we give him a force forward, and he will naturally want to put his foot forward to keep his balance, and then his foot will hit the ground, and the ground will transmit a force through his foot to the rest of his body, and his body will adjust, and he'll keep on doing that over and over again as he walks. And when you do that over many frames, you get a person walking and actually reacting to the terrain. It looks really neat.
With Terra, Looking Glass seems poised to reinvent the tactical squad combat game. The landscapes are already among the best in the industry, and the character animation promises to match it. With a healthy dose of strategy, realistic multi-soldier tactics, and all the first-person combat action you can handle, expect Terra to be a surgical strike of epic proportions.